Okay, one of the first things you need to do with Facebook ads, which is very important, is to set up a new custom audience and do that based on your customer list. So the cool thing about Facebook, which I've already talked about a little bit, is you can create these custom audiences and you can upload files with like a list of emails or phone numbers from your customers, and it'll try to match them up to Facebook accounts, and then you can create a custom audience of all the ones that it's able to match up. Obviously, the ones that it can't match up are ones that don't get included in that custom audience because it doesn't, it can't find those people. So the first thing we want to do is come in here, same thing in the ad manager, get to this area where we're able to set up ad sets. And it doesn't matter, what you put in the previous step for the conversion goals or anything, because you can always go back, cancel, whatever. But get again to this screen, and then you want to click this link here, create new custom audience. So you're going to click that. And then it says, how do you want to create this audience? So it says you're going to do it with a customer file. You can do it with website traffic. You can do it with app activity. Ignore all that, but the top one, customer file. So we click that, and we have some options here. So you can pretty much ignore the bottom one unless, of course, you use MailChimp. But either way, what you want to do is essentially you can copy and paste. But primarily what you want to do, because it's easier, especially when you're working with a lot of data, is you want to upload a file. So you need to upload a file that either contains like email addresses or phone numbers. Don't worry about Facebook user IDs and mobile advertiser IDs. That's a little bit more advanced and complicated, and you really don't need to worry about that. So you'd click upload a file. Now it says choose a file to upload and what's the data type. So the first thing you need to do is to upload your customer list. And you can do this multiple ways. So you can take your entire customer list, let's say everyone that's ever bought from you, but they have spent money with you. So those would be your entire customer list. So you would export their email addresses from whatever shopping cart service that you use and turn it into what's called a CSV file or a .txt text file. But all that's going to be in that file is just email address, and then on another line is another email address, then on the next line is email address, all the way down. It's just a file of email addresses, no other data, not name, not location, not address, not phone number, just a list of email addresses. So you take all those emails that you have from your customers, you put data type on here, you put it on emails, and then you click upload file, you find that on your computer, and then you upload it and click create audience. So that's all I want for you to do right now, but do that with your entire customer list. Okay? So that's the first step. You want to create this custom audience that's your entire customer list. The next thing you want to do really is you want to segment your customer list by product. So create sub-lists of those email addresses by product. So if you have, your main front-end product, that's going to be all customers if everyone has to buy that first before they can buy anything else from you. If you have a more expensive back-end product or upsell or anything else, that's a separate list. So you'd have only those unique customers, their email addresses that is, in that file. But you're essentially going to upload and create a custom audience for each of the different products that you sell. So it's only going to be people that bought those different products. So, and of course, some people will end up on different lists because they bought more than one product from you. That's okay if they're on multiple lists. But after you do all your customers, then come back, create another custom audience, and do it by product. So as you name these things, you could put, the first one could just be all customers. And then you could name one, product A. But of course, you want to actually name it like, house flipping intro course. And then you put that in there. And actually, another thing you could do is if you sold your products at different price points, like maybe, let's say you have this intro product on teaching people how to flip houses. And at one time you sold it for $97. And then you also test selling it for $297. Well, I would recommend you then split those up into two different lists, even though they all bought the house flipping thing. It's more data is better than less data. So I would do one custom audience with all the people that have ever bought that house flipping course, regardless of price. So that's a new custom audience. Then come in here, create another custom audience, and make the customer list of email addresses that's just the people that bought it for $97. Then do another customer list for all the people that bought it for $297. So that's the way you'd want to separate it. And then if you have other, back-end coaching services that are more expensive, or any other things that you've sold, just any products you've sold in your business, create a different custom audience for each product. So it's the email addresses for each of those products. Now you can also come in here and separately, after you do all of that, you can then create all these custom audiences again, but you can do it based on phone number. So you would create new files that only have the phone number in them for each of those customers, and create all of the same custom audiences, but just call one email, then call the next one phone. But again, do one for all the customers. So you would do their email addresses. Then you would do another one for all the customers, but it would just be their phone numbers. Because you can't, you're not combining both. It's either or. So it's either emails or phone numbers. But you want to try and do both, because your goal here, which I'm going to show you in a moment, is to try to get Facebook to match up the most Facebook accounts it can to your customer data. But come in here and create several different custom audiences. You're going to do all the different ones by email, and then if you have people's phone numbers, come in and do it again, all the same ones, but based on phone number lists, and create those custom audiences. So that's the first thing you're going to do, is create custom audiences with your customer lists. And of course, like I said, do all your customers and then start separating it by product. But create those custom audiences inside your account.